this one, and it's a song that I wrote over the pandemic days. I wrote a bunch of songs in a short period of time. I hadn't finished any songs in a while, but there was something about what I was going through in my own life, and then you mix that with a tornado that we had in Nashville where I live, and then you mix that with a global pandemic, and then a little side of social and political disarray and unrest, and a forced sitting and slowing my ass down. Apparently those were the ingredients to writing a lot of songs in like 2 months. And I hate the reason for the forced slowing down, but I needed it in my own life because I was going through some shit. And without getting all into it all, you know, we don't need to get all into it all.
Yeah.
I had gone to a place that helps people learn different moves to operate when certain people are operating with moves that are gonna fucking kill them. So I went to this place and I started developing some new moves, and I really needed to learn some new moves. I had tried it on my own for some years, and I couldn't stick with it. I learned that I needed to be open and honest about some things, and I needed to connect with a community of sisters and brothers that were on a similar path. And all that sounded good enough, but I went to this place, I came out of this place, clean as a whistle, and I was like, fuck, I'm finally cured. And they said, no, you're not. And I said, what? Come on, man, please. And they suggested to me that if I wanted different results, to try some things differently. And I said, okay, well that sounds smart enough. What do you suggest? And they said, well, for one, you should get a therapist. I said, I don't want to do that. And then I thought to myself, why don't I want to do that? And the reason I didn't want to do it is not because I didn't think it could help me or that maybe I needed it or even wanted it in ways, but the reason I didn't want to do it is that I've been avoiding things like homework my whole life. And the idea of like working on myself every day seemed very exhausting. But I went, and I was nervous, and I sat in the waiting room, and I heard a voice call my name, and I looked up, and granted I had just got out of rehab, but it was the most beautiful person that I had seen in a long time. And I thought, because I got some funny friends, I thought some friends got somebody to prank me. Because I've never tried rehab, but I have, don't judge me, I've seen some movies with certain subjects with hot therapists. I don't know. Forgive me. But it became clear, I say that with all due respect to this beautiful therapist. It became clear that this was no prank. And I went in and I started talking to her, and she was so awesome. And we were talking about a bunch of things, but in particular, I was having these. I swear I'm not drunk. I was having these panic attacks, and I was talking to her about going through all that, and she was giving me a bunch of different suggestions. And one of the things that she said that really stuck with me was, she said, when you're having these panic attacks, do you ever pick up your guitar, like go sit at the piano and play music? Because clearly you love music. And I thought to myself, I do that shit when I'm like happy or sad or lonely or nervous, but not when these things hit, I'm not doing it. Because this guitar is looking at me. The thing that brings me the most transcendence and joy is looking at me from across the room like you wouldn't know what to do with me if you tried. And she said, well, try this. Already I didn't like the sound of it because it sounded like homework. I'm listening. She said, try this. Next time just pick it up and play just for the love of hearing the instrument in your living room. You know, don't do it with an expectation of some tangible result of a tune that you can play for the beautiful people in Buffalo or to put on a record and all that. Just like, it reminded me of like when we were children. This is what I've been thinking this whole time. It's like we're all beautiful freaks and artists and singers and dancers, and then we get older and something happens. So I got back to my house, and a couple weeks later, we were in the pandemic, and I'd just gotten my cat, Mr. Beautiful, and he was laying on the couch with me, and this song started to come into the room, and I was hearing it, and I grabbed the guitar and I started playing it, and I remember about halfway through, like, I don't know, I'm not too sure about this little ditty. And I remember looking down at Mr. Beautiful, and he was just chilling, and it felt good to play. And so that's kind of the space that I tried to operate in when I was making this record, was just to stay out of my own way, to keep it simple. And anyway, there's a song called Panic Attack. I hope none of you can relate, but here it goes. Want to speak to someone confidentially. Don't know just how I'm feeling, but I'm feeling feelings exponentially. The convoy started asking questions. Said, ma'am, I was hoping for advice. I'm feeling lots of feelings, not a single one of them feels nice. And she said, do you ever think about dying? Said, no, but sometimes I lie. And do you want to live? I said yes, but I feel like shit. On a scale of 1 to 10, do you feel anxious? On a scale of 1 to 10, do you feel scared? Said I'm feeling lots of feelings. For some reason I cut my hair. Sometimes my skin starts crawling. Sometimes the creature's calling. Sometimes the walls start caving in. Sometimes I feel isolated. Sometimes I feel so small. Sometimes I get irritated. But right now I feel it all. She spoke and I tried to listen. Said son, there may be no cure, but I know that life's worth living. It's the only thing worth living for. Yeah. To my friends in the same position, I wish there was a cure, but I swear that life's worth living. It's the only thing worth living for. I called a healthcare professional. Want to speak to someone confidentially. Don't know just how I'm feeling, but I'm feeling feelings exponentially.